Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Gadigal people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Amanda Bauer and it's Friday, February 17. In Squiz Kids Today, help on the way to New Zealand, a Bolivian wolf in sheep's clothing, new Titanic footage released, and a Queen's letters decrypted. That's what's making news, kid style.
The lowdown.
If a friend asks for help, what do? You help them, of course. And if you're a really good friend and you see that they're having problems, you might even get ready to help them before they even ask. Which is exactly what Australia has done for our friends in New Zealand. We've heard a lot this week about the devastation that Cyclone Gabriel has caused all over New Zealand's North Island, with flooding, landslides, roads washed away, thousands of people homeless, and tens of thousands of people without power. Unfortunately, more storms are on their way. Heavy rains were falling on the North Island yesterday and severe thunderstorms are forecast for today, which could all make a bad situation worse. On Wednesday, the Australian government started to get organised to help our Kiwi friends, and yesterday they officially asked for that help. Emergency management teams from both countries are now working together and developing a plan. Because that's what friends do.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in the South American country of Bolivia, where an unbelievable prison escape attempt has been foiled. I know some of you might be missing Bryce and his dad jokes this week, so get prepared for some awesome mum jokes. Earlier this month, an inmate tried to escape from Bolivia's maximum security Chonchocoro prison by wrapping himself up in a sheepskin. Jose Luis Calizaya Diaz hoped to pull the wool over the eyes of prison security and impersonate a sheep. His plan? Crawl on all fours toward the prison walls and break through. But security couldn't be fleeced. And Calizaya Diaz was soon back behind bars, looking rather sheepish. And yes, of course, I've put some photos of this wolf in sheep's clothing in your episode notes. Hey, I'm pretty proud. Unbelievable, pull the wool over, fleeced, bars and sheepish. 5 mum jokes in one segment. Top that, Bryce.
Pop Culture Corner.
It's 25 years since the film Titanic was released. And to commemorate the event, not only was the film re-released this week, but over an hour of previously unseen footage of the great shipwreck's discovery was made public on YouTube yesterday. The video itself is pretty cool. I'll put a link in your episode notes. But what I found even cooler was learning that one of the people who discovered Titanic's final resting place back in 1985 was actually looking for something else. Robert Ballard told the Associated Press yesterday that during the entire trip, he was worried that the public would find out that he was a Navy intelligence officer and his real mission was military. This was during the 1980s and the Cold War, and Ballard was trying to find 2 nuclear submarines that had been sunk nearby. Looking for Titanic, he said, was a bit of an afterthought. That didn't stop him from getting quite emotional when he spotted the world's most famous shipwreck and contemplated how many lives had been lost.
Believe it or not.
Have you ever done one of those puzzles where you have to break a code and decipher a secret message? Well, 3 men have broken the ultimate code and caused a sensation by discovering and deciphering 57 lost letters written by Mary, Queen of Scots, while she was imprisoned by the Queen of England. The 3 amateur code breakers discovered the letters, which had been lost for over 400 years, in a French library. Amateur means that you aren't getting paid and it isn't your job. The 3 men are an Israeli computer scientist, a German pianist, and a Japanese physicist. They worked on nights and weekends to decipher the code, and eventually they uncovered references, making it clear that the imprisoned Mary, Queen of Scots, was the author of the code. I'll put links in your episode notes so that you can understand just how tough Mary's code was. She had 200 different symbols which represented either letters, numbers, or names. In fact, the letters were so confusing that they had been mistakenly filed away as Italian texts for centuries.
Hey folks, don't forget that in partnership with Woolworths, we're in the middle of our search for the ultimate $5 lunchbox. And a big thanks to Lila from Emmanuel Anglican College, who suggested a colourful array of vegetables, fruit and sushi rolls. Look at you go with the healthy options. At the end of today's podcast, Rosie from Rosie's Recipes will be sharing some lunchbox inspo of her own. And today's recipe is for some yummy apricot cereal balls. Be sure to keep listening.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which country is a sheepish prisoner back behind bars? That's right, it's in Bolivia. Question number 2. One of the men who discovered the Titanic shipwreck in 1985 was actually looking for what? You got it, nuclear submarines. And question number 3. What is the word for someone who is not a professional and does something in their spare time? Well done if you remembered this. It's amateur.
Shout outs.
It's February 17, which is Random Acts of Kindness Day. Surprise someone today by doing something unexpectedly kind for them. It'll make you both feel amazing. It's also a Friday, and you know what that means. Lots of birthday shout-outs for today and the coming weekend, for which we're going to need to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it. It's a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Arwen from Tumut, Archie from Montmorency, Paddy from Scone, Scarlett from Furnessdale, Hannah from Oyster Bay, Andrew from Colleen, Celeste from Como, Edward, Jack and Angus from Sydney, Helen from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and Indy from Wanganui, New Zealand. Belated birthday wishes go to Jasper from Brisbane, Eden from Footscray, Liam from Portland, Jamie from Belmont, Zane from Dawn, Lincoln from Yass, Finn from Camden, and Jack from Denmark, the WA version of Denmark. Not forgetting all the Squiz Kids who are celebrating a birthday over the coming weekend. Brooklyn from Beecroft, Neva from Warrenora, Ayrton from Yass, Angus from Tumut, Violetta from Burpengary, Poppy from Montmorency, Hugo from Campbell, Evelyn from Austinmer, Veraine from Borkham Hills, and Tomac from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. If you have a name that's a little tricky to pronounce, help me out. Tell us how to say it. That's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.
Rosie's recipes.
Hello Squiz Kids, it's Rosie here again from Rosie's Recipes as we wrap up the search with help from our friends at Woolworths for the ultimate $5 lunchbox. Now, for the past 2 weeks, we've been prepping super healthy, low-cost lunchbox ideas that won't make your parents' lives more complicated than they already are. And today, in this final segment, we're getting our sweet tooth on and prepping what I like to call healthier apricot cereal balls. It's basically a sweet treat in your lunchbox that's also good for you. I've road tested all of these lunchbox recipes and can tell you that when I popped down to Woolworths with Dad's wallet, the ingredients to make this one only came to 44 cents per serve. And with the money I saved, I bought an ice cream. So everyone wins. To make this one, you're going to need a bag of Woolworths dried and diced apricots. If you don't like apricots, try other dried fruit, like dates or whatever you like best. With either a blender or a wooden spoon, mix together milk, apricots, Weet Bix, coconut, and a big squeeze of honey. Then, it's time to get a little messy. With clean hands, grab a handful of the mixture, roll it into a ball, and then roll it on a plate of coconut. Yum! Best made the night before so you can whack it in the fridge for ultimate chill time. Hey presto, the most delicious and nutritious treat that will make you the envy of all of your classmates. For this and a bunch of other cool lunchbox recipes, be sure to check out the links in today's episode notes. Bye!